6:30 p.m. Monday, May 20th, 2024. This is the Kearney Board of Aldermen meeting. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We had a chance to take roll.
I have taken roll. Everyone is present. You have the quorum.
Great, thank you. Move on to personal appearances. Before we move with Mr. Tyler Reardon with Republic, have Mr. Hall here this evening, and I'd like to give you the floor for a few minutes.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Alderman, and staff. I've got some notes I'm going to refer to, and then if I go on a tangent, you'll forgive me. My name is Gary Hall. Nancy and I now live in Santa Maria, California, but we're originally from Kearney. I'm the oldest son of Jim and Jerry Hall, and I just wanted to express my appreciation for your continued interest in the development of the Jim and Jerry Hall Park. We are hopeful that the approval of the grant will soon be received. We appreciate the efforts of Eric and Ryan in reaching this point, and we're looking forward to our trip home next year, which is an annual trip, so we can possibly see even more progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
Safe travels back to California, and I'm hoping just as soon as we have some good news on the grant, Eric or Ryan will be in touch just as soon as we hear something.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Next, Tyler Reardon with Republic Services. I've requested Mr. Reardon. He is a municipal sales manager for Republic. And we've had a lot of residents contact City Hall since the change of Republic service schedule from being in the community every day each week to covering the whole community in 1 week. Quite frankly, my patience is I don't have patience anymore with the lack of service we've been receiving from Republic. I'm just being blunt here, Tyler.
Yeah, no.
It's our internal staff that receive the calls and have to deal with this every Monday falling into the middle of the week. It's not Republic staff that has to handle all these calls and upset customers. So I'm really excited to hear what plan you have here, Tyler. I know even as of early as today, there's some misstops and stuff that are going to be resolved tomorrow. So with that being said, happy to give you the floor and look forward to what we're going to hear from you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for having me tonight as well. Just to kind of touch base on kind of the more pressing stuff with today's service. We run a total of 6 trash routes and 4 recycle routes in Kearney every day, or every Monday. And today we had 2 trash drivers out and 2 recycle drivers. So we were down to 4 trash routes and 2 recycle routes. So the routes that were affected, I sent over to the city screenshots of kind of some of the areas and addresses, just in case if you guys did get any call-ins. But operations said those will be prioritized for first thing tomorrow morning, kind of like what the mayor said. What I want to really discuss is just kind of the one-day service and how it shakes out operationally on us. We have, like I said, we have 6 trash routes with a town of about 3,600 homes-ish. That's only 600 stops a day for each trash driver. That is actually below their daily total. So David and I David's our GM, David Baker, we kind of dug into some of the driver performance aspects of things, even as recently as today. And he is committed to the city that he's going to start tracking all Kearney drivers because something's not adding up. Just with the cart weights, they're not heavy. There's no reason that we shouldn't be getting 700, 800 homes per driver before they need to go to landfill, and they're only getting about 600 right now. So once we get the drivers kind of servicing things efficiently, the one-day service week is going to work. I know you guys have had some issues, but we want to commit to it, and we want to commit to a 24-hour turnaround time on any misses, weather-related, holiday, something crazy happens. But other than that, 24-hour turnaround time on the trash misses, recycle misses. And then I'll continue to push our operations staff to send out, if there's any truck issues, anything like that, to send that out to us. I can get it sent out to the city, just in case if there are any, service issues or delays. That's including with holidays and weather and such. The main reason we're struggling right now is because we are just struggling again on the driver's aspect. We have our trucks. We hired a new maintenance manager last year. And a couple of new maintenance shop techs. They got our trucks running. Now we're just short on drivers again, which happened kind of 2 or 3 years ago as well, where we had to kind of scramble. But yeah, we kind of have a mix of, we had 2 drivers just recently get released from Republic Services, one due to multiple safety violations, and then the other one, unfortunately, was due to injury. So we are hiring for those right now. But yeah, even just like, where we're at current status, we have 2 on PTO and then 2 out on medical leave right now. And then, like I said, we have 2 out. So we're down drivers every day. That's going to get better. As I said, our ops supervisors continue to monitor like the upcoming PTO schedules. I know a lot of our drivers will take PTO during the summer. So we're going to plan for that, and I'll be sure to notify the city of our kind of coverage plan for those. Because that's the time where, we want our drivers to have a work-life balance, but we got to stagger their PTO a little bit better. And I think with our new ops leadership, that will get ironed out. Just a quick service update as far as like a route change. I know the ideal scenario would be to move back to, a 4-day service week or multiple day. We're gonna implement some things on the 1-day service. And like I said in the email to the city today, it's not something that we're closing the book on. I want to ensure you guys are getting the best service possible. So if I have to continue to bring it up to leadership and, area management, I will, because I want to get it figured out. We've serviced this community for a long time, reliably, and I want to get back there. Just, like what the mayor said, I want calls to City Hall to be kind of the, not the norm, so yeah, that's one thing. And then, for a route adjustment, we're not changing any service days right now, but we are making an adjustment to one of our more northern routes that kind of handles some subscription customers. And that truck is going to go farther up north, up into Kearney and Excelsior Springs, and provide coverage both on the service day and the following day, just in case if there are any misses. So that's one addition, like truck head count wise, that will be coming up in the area, and they'll be servicing both Kearney and Excelsior Springs. You guys are Monday, and then Excelsior Springs is Tuesday. So we'll have trucks up in Kearney for coverage on Tuesday after you guys' Monday service day, and then the same we'll be doing on Wednesday for Excelsior. Yeah, like I said, the discussion's still going. The goal is obviously to get service ironed out, but until we get staffing, there's going to be some hiccups. But I know David, our GM, has made the commitment, and our ops manager has made the commitment that we want to get it right. We're open to feedback and critiques. Anything you guys want to say, if there's specific things that I need to take to them, I'm all ears, because like I said, I want to be a partner in all this with you guys. And I feel like our service has been letting you down, so I want to do anything I can personally to get it back on the right track. So any questions, any suggestions? I know I kind of talked about the changing, service days back to 4 days might not be an option right now, but it's still on the table. So if you guys have any questions for me.
So Tyler, and I'm going to apologize up front. I think talk is cheap. We've been in this wolf pack for over 9.5 months now.
Yeah.
And it's been a mess since day one. I understand that every employer out there is shorthanded and working through challenges. However, I've heard a lot of different things in 9.5 months, and at some point, if this is not going to work, I'm going to ask the board to cancel the contract, and we're going to look somewhere else.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, our residents pay for this service, and they're paying for a service that is less than satisfactory, that I've seen no improvement in 9.5 months.
Yeah.
And I'm not certain what I'm hearing from you tonight is anything different than I haven't already heard in 9.5 months.
Yeah.
So
the additional coverage will help, but yeah, as far as a reroute, we just did the Wolfpack reroute recently, kind of in the trash world, that's recently. So yeah, we want to put additional resources here to see if we can get this right. And our operations staff is fully confident that they're going to get it right. So
what's your thoughts on, do you think there's any room for some modifications to our contract of Republic paying some sort of penalty?
Yeah.
Or refund back to our customers?
We could look
for
into
misses?
either like a credit situation or like a liquidated damages clause as well. Those would be two options that you guys could look into.
Okay.
That I don't believe are in the current contract language. So that would have to be an addendum that we would add.
I think at a minimum, I need the consensus of the board here, but I think at a minimum, that's something we should consider from Republic, a request of some sort of refund or penalty for missed pickups. We have one of the residents that was here last board meeting rather is here. And, she shared her garbage had to be outside in 90-degree weather for an extra week.
Yeah.
And so we pay our staff to take care of citizen issues and complaints and a lot of times on Republic right now. So does anybody else on the board have anything to say? I want to give you the opportunity to address Mr. Reardon or.
Actually, I do. I've been hearing these complaints myself. I'm a resident here and my trash sits on the curb, just like everybody else's. And to be honest with you, I don't really like it either. My question is this: where I work, if we're short-handed, management has to fill in. So how many of your managers you got sitting behind the wheel?
0 right now.
It's something you need to look at.
I know. And we've tried just as a company to prevent that, but probably the last 2 years, we've really tried to keep supervisors supervising. But yeah, we're getting to a point where, most of those guys do have CDLs. And a lot of them are former drivers that could pick up a route when needed. But yeah, that's something I would definitely have to talk over with my general manager, David, because that's assigning them to cover routes might not be as productive than hiring one of our SOS drivers, like another Republic driver from a different business unit. We call them SOS drivers. Their whole role is to travel around the country to different BUs and provide assistance with trucks and drivers and such. So we would like to go that route first before the supervisors. And we already have a couple of SOS drivers here in Kansas City right now too. So we got SOS drivers and we're down about 4 drivers right now. So it's a struggle.
Well, if you make your management people haul trash, they'll be finding somebody to take their place pretty quick.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate the feedback.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
How many contracts have you lost in the last year?
Municipality-wise, 2. HOA-wise, it kind of varies, but most of it was on the Kansas side, on the HOA stuff. We have a lot more municipal city contracts on the Missouri side. And a lot of it's HOA, open market subscription on the Kansas side.
Tyler, you and I have emailed you so many times that I've lost track.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I look at I've gotten to the point where I dread looking at my city email because I know I'm going to get complaints about trash service.
Mm-hmm.
And, quite frankly, we pay Republic good money for service that we should be getting, and we're not getting that.
Yeah.
And my recycling is sitting out in front of my house today.
Yep.
And I've had trash in my neighborhood sitting outside for over a week. That's unacceptable. It can't happen.
That's where we need to prioritize getting back to Kearney. If there are any misses or if something happens route-wise where we don't have the coverage, we've got to get back the next morning at the latest.
It sounds to me like if you're going to call them SOS drivers, then if you're down 2 drivers because of whatever reason, the Republic should be finding 2 SOS drivers to be in here tomorrow.
And that's what we're doing.
Not next week, not 2 weeks from now. And you know, like the mayor said, this has been going on for months. And in a normal business world, if I produced like this, I'd be fired.
Yeah.
I'd be gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
This is totally unacceptable. And there are other trash companies out there.
Yeah.
And I know of another municipality that you're about to lose the contract on or have lost the contract on. And you may be looking at another one.
Yeah.
So, you know, Republic needs to be doing some damage control.
Yeah. And
Very,
trust me,
very quickly.
I relay, obviously in my role, I gotta be kind of a sounding board for both parties. So trust me, I've tried to escalate this as much as I can. Now it's just holding drivers accountable, like what David said, then just our ops staff and me just dialing in more, more proactiveness if we are down routes. But yeah, I mean, I think getting fully staffed will get us back to a normal level of service.
But fully staffed can't be 2 weeks from now. Fully
Yeah.
staffed can't be
Yeah.
2 months from now. It
Yeah.
needs to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe if you're just the sounding board, maybe we need to get the GM up here to talk to us, because we pay good money and we deserve more than just a sounding board to come up here and try to blow smoke up our backside.
Yeah, and then that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to solve the problem just like you. When service isn't going well, my voicemails and emails, my inbox is pretty flooded. So I share in the frustration when service is not working. So
I don't think you share in the frustration that I'm feeling in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So,
And I think you, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but what it is a black eye for the city. When the trash is not getting picked up, they're not calling you. You know, they're calling the city staff, and we're having to deal with it. And of course, they're saying, well, the city can't do this. The city's not doing this. So it's a black eye for us.
yes.
It's our reputation.
Mhm.
And so I know in my career, I know it's hard to hire people right now, but that means you have to be more creative or whatever. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job.
No.
But you have to understand that for us, it's about providing services.
Yeah.
You know, I've had my trash sitting outside for 2 weeks until you came back, and it's going to be summer, and that's not going to be cool. And a lot of HOAs don't want it sitting out for days at a time. So
That's where I hope our team can, if there's going to be misses or just delayed routes, that we get it first thing the next day. I mean, nothing from Kearney should carry over into a Wednesday.
Would 2 weeks give you enough time to have a discussion with your general manager about some modifications to our current contractual agreement?
Yeah.
About offering residents some sort of discounted rate or something with misses?
Yep.
I would be interested to see what Republic has. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you how to fix a solution, and quite frankly, I don't think I should have to, but I would like to see what besides your action plan of trying to do better, what we can do for our residents too moving forward with misses.
Okay.
if the board is, I'd like to have another report in maybe a month at most, or in 2 weeks, as to, because this can't go on. I mean, here we are 9 months out, and I'll be frank, I was hoping for more from you.
Yeah.
And when I got the email this afternoon, it's like, okay, we're getting smoke blowing up our backside, and that's what it feels like.
Okay.
And so.
Well, I hope we can prove I hope we can prove that we're gonna follow through with it.
Talk is cheap.
Yep.
Actions is gonna get, we just can't continue.
Yep. And if the city's preference is, I know ideally shift to 4 days, I think would be, just because, you guys had a service history of 4 days, Monday through Thursday. If the city's official stance is to prefer that, type up a letter to me, send it my way, just that way it's on the record. I can use it as just in the discussion with area leadership, on a possible another reroute if that's in the cards. Because David said that's not out of the realm. We've gotten some pushback on it just because the reroute just went on for essentially, a year ago. So
yeah, I appreciate that, Tyler. I really do. My focus is a better level of service.
Yeah.
That's priority number one.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to do is switch to 4 days and then still have the same issue.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, David mentioned that to me too. When we're short drivers, like for instance, what's happening right now is a little bit different than I think than the repeated misses. If we're properly staffed, something like today doesn't happen. But we still need to get better. We shouldn't be planning for how do we collect the misses. We shouldn't have misses. That's how we're looking at it.
When a resident is missed,
Yeah.
how does the driver the next day know where to go?
It just, whenever they call in and say, my address is 123 Main Street, either to City Hall, if City Hall relays that to us, we enter the note on the service address, or if they call in.
So the resident
customer
has to
service.
call in.
Yeah,
Is just one house being missed?
No, it's whole neighborhood.
Like, is the whole
Neighbor.
oh,
street?
no, yeah,
Yeah, whole street.
yeah.
Whole.
When there's like a delay like this, or if it's an entire street, we try to be as proactive on that. I thought you were talking about just like a one-off missed pickup. Like if for some reason somebody doesn't put it out and the truck drives by, that's when they call into City Hall and say miss. Yeah. But we're aware of the routes that if we don't cover, we know exactly what routes we're covering. Yeah.
When they get here, they're.
And that's what I sent over today in that email was kind of a snapshot of, it's not super dialed in, but it kind of shows you at least the areas where, if that's your ward or whatever, you can kind of let customers know a little bit more directly what the delay is.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Tyler, I'm not trying to be a pain, I'm really not here, but how long have you been short-staffed?
We
How long
actually
have
had
you been short
some,
drivers?
we were doing good probably 4 or 5 months ago. But then just recently, like I said, we had to let 2 go this past week. So yeah,
We've been fighting this longer than 4 or 5 months.
yeah.
So,
And that's where David saw that too. And he said, we got to drill into the driver's efficiency and start holding some drivers accountable. Even like, rolling heads. Cause if you're not picking up what we need you to pick up on a given day, we can find somebody else that will. It's one of those things that if we have enough trucks and they have enough capacity each day to pick up all of Kearney, that should be getting done. And for some reason, the drivers are falling short on that.
So if you're saying they're picking up 600 stops per day, I have literally watched the drivers come by my house. I mean, they're
30 minutes.
destroying these cans.
Okay.
I got one broke myself right now.
And so if they're
Just like when
only
they
doing
set them
600,
down from the arm.
well, I had a driver 2 weeks ago that tried to pick up 2 trash cans at the same time. And they're literally like 6 feet apart. And the clock comes out, he's trying to grab both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's.
And, it's just, so if they're short 100 stops a day, what are they gonna do to the trash cans then?
That should, yeah, I mean, that's a training thing. I mean, that's just telling our drivers that, I mean, I've never heard of the two carts, so if you give me some more specific information on that, like addresses or whatever, I can pull the driver, because that's a.
You've got my address, I
Yeah.
guarantee you.
I didn't know if it was.
It was my house.
Okay.
I'm sitting in my living room,
Yep.
looking out my front window, watching him try to pick up 2 trash cans,
Yeah,
full-size trash cans at the same time.
Yeah, that driver should be disciplined for that. That's a huge red flag on safety and protocol.
But Tyler, this is just, it's ongoing. I could sit here all night and bring up issues. Until we get responses, it's all talk.
Mhm.
And I know this is not your prime, this wasn't on your list of priorities to be up here tonight, but it's gotta be priority. It's
Yeah,
gotta
and I
be-
definitely don't want you to feel like that. I'm the municipal manager. Every municipal contract means a lot to me. So it's one of those things that I've enjoyed our time working. I took over for Hank in 2021. I've enjoyed the time with the city. I feel like service has been reliable, but yeah, obviously we need to do some adjusting ever since the Wolfpack reroute. So.
Yeah, it was reliable when we had 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Since you went to 1 day, it's gone to crap.
Okay.
And that's, I think you could get multiple people throughout the city of Kearney that would agree with that.
Yeah.
Not just me.
No, yeah.
Tyler, I appreciate you being here this evening. Looking forward to, if you could get back with Sheila relatively soon on maybe some ideas to modify the contract. And then I think maybe a meeting or two, maybe we can get an update from Republic on.
Yeah, and Garrett, our
where
ops
we are.
manager, was initially planning to come, but I guess his wife missed a flight this morning or whatever, so he has to stay home with the kids. But yeah, next time maybe we can meet either back in council or some one-off sessions where I can bring David, I can bring our operations manager. They have a little bit better working knowledge of operation stuff. It could shed some light on most of the things that I talked about. But yeah, we want to get it right. I can't say that enough. I know talk is cheap right now. We just got to prove it to you from here on in. So,
All right, thank you for being here.
Any other questions, anybody?
Thanks, Tyler.
Yep.
We'll move on to the consent agenda. Any items of discussion on the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none, if we can entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. We'll move on to ordinances. First item is a motion approving bill number 21-2024 presented by Mark Thomas, our police chief. An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement between the city of Kearney, Missouri and Boone County, Missouri by and through the Boone County Sheriff's Office for K-9 basic training services. Chief, you got the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. We've been set to have this second K-9 purchased and trained for some time, and we're going forward with it on the 3rd of June. Jeff Parton, one of our police officers, is a K-9 handler, and they're going out to pick up the dog. They're going to select him from a group of dogs, and then they'll have pre-training at that point out in Pennsylvania, and then they'll have training in Boone County, Missouri, down in Columbia after that.
Great, exciting times. Looking forward to getting our second dog. Any questions from the police chief or Officer Parton? Seeing none, if we could read the proposed ordinance, first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement between the city of Kearney, Missouri and Boone County, Missouri by and through the Boone County Sheriff's Office for K-9 basic training services.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement between the city of Kearney, Missouri and Boone County, Missouri by and through the Boone County Sheriff's Office for K-9 basic training services.
Motion to approve.
A second.
Pull the board, please.
Alderman King,
Aye.
Alderwoman Barker,
Aye.
Alderman Holt,
Aye.
Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Ordinance passes unanimously on second reading. Congratulations, Officer Parton, and safe travels to you and Sergeant Garton. So send us a picture as soon as you get the dog selected.
In the name.
In the name too.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We expect introductions at a meeting.
Right, there you go. I agree so. Next item is a motion approving bill number 22-2024 presented by Stephanie Harris, our finance director. An ordinance authorizing the city of Kearney, Missouri equipment lease purchase agreement and authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the lease.
Good evening. The first thing that I would have you look at is basically what Todd Goffey at Piper Sandler presented for us, a summary of the proposals from various lenders who responded to our It's basically the last 2 pages in section B. So we reviewed these options in connection with Todd and one of his staff members who can run options really fast, and looked at the various options: fixed, 8-year adjustable, 5-year adjustable, 10-year adjustable, different banks, and basically after discussing, what our budget was, how much we thought we could pay per year, and wanting to have a good idea of what the future would hold for us. Also refinancing or those sort of options, prepayment, all of those things. We basically selected the Pony Express Bank fixed 5.5% as the best option. It just met our budget criteria, has an option to refinance with no prepayment after 3 years. That's what we thought would be best to budget on an ongoing basis. So then Gilmore Bell drafted our ordinance and our agreement, and that is what is attached behind option B with our payment plan, which is listed as page 67 of the exhibit B. Is our projected schedule.
Thanks for that report. Are there any questions from the board, from staff on the proposed agreement? I just want to say I appreciate all the banks that submitted bids, especially appreciate Pony Express Bank providing such a fair and good response, in my opinion. So if there's no other questions from the staff, if we could, no other questions from the board, if we could read the proposed ordinance first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance authorizing the City of Kearney, Missouri equipment lease purchase agreement and authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the lease.
Motion to approve. I'll second.
A second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance authorizing the City of Kearney, Missouri equipment lease purchase agreement and authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of the lease.
Move to approve on second reading.
Second.
Pull the board, please.
Alderwoman Barker. Aye. Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Ordinance passes unanimously on the second reading. We have no resolutions this evening. We do have an item for review and presentation. Stephanie Harris, our finance director, will deliver the April monthly financial report. Stephanie?
Thank you. This is under 6A, and hopefully you had a chance to review it. First month of our fiscal year. There's not a whole lot of comparison that can be done or analysis. It's kind of early for a lot of things to have actually occurred, even if they had been budgeted. And that's probably the biggest takeaway from these financials is there's a budget amount, but nothing has happened yet. Two things, fines, interest are both over budget in the general fund. From a revenue standpoint, interest is not surprising. Fines is a little bit surprising, but it could just be a timing issue. On the expenditure side, in the general fund, Firehouse Center is 20%. We're 8% through the current year, so that expenditure is 20%. It's mainly because the enrichment payment is quarterly. So again, a little bit of a timing flex that they're seeing there. Solid waste is over. It's literally the environmental waste bill that was higher than anticipated. Capital outlay is related to vehicles that were purchased. Again, some of these things are budgeted on an annual basis, not necessarily on a monthly basis, so, it's probably way too early to panic. None of them are at panic levels anyway.
So can we touch a little more base on the solid waste expenditure item? You said.
It's, solid waste, oh, yes, household waste is budgeted over, it's over the budget by 21%. It's 2 months worth of household waste. We paid March's and April's in the month of April, and we're cash basis. So those 2 months are reflected in April's financials.
Do we normally pay 2 months like
I would
that,
have
or?
to go back and look to see why
There-
that carried over.
It was just because staff, it had to do with Kathy leaving and then being able to get the report out of the water billing system, because when we switched upgraded after the summer, Kathy had all the logins and I didn't have one. And so it just was a little bit of a delay. So 2 bills got paid in the month of April.
Were there any fees associated with the late payment? Okay. Sorry, that answered my question. Thank you.
Lovely. The only other thing, wireless capital improvement fund, and again, I look at significant items. The expenditures in wireless capital improvement fund is 107% versus 8%. Again, that's debt service that didn't get paid in March and should have been paid in March, but we didn't get it paid till April. It was honestly part of my year-end fiscal review when I noticed that there was a couple debt payments that weren't made. We paid the interest, but we didn't pay the principal. So, not sure. But we've got that under control now. We've got a schedule, so that shouldn't happen again. Shops at Kearney TIF fund expenditures is over budget, and that is solely a matter of sales tax coming in and developer payments going out. And we budget our best guess, and right now we are a little bit more to the developer than we anticipated, but that means the city's better in sales tax than we anticipated.
What the heck are you doing out here?
So definitely, if you have any questions or if you saw anything, I'll try to answer them.
Thank you for the report. Any questions from the board? Thank you, Stephanie.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll move on to mayor's communications. A couple things. I want to thank Republic for coming out this evening. I think Tyler knew what he was walking into, but I'm really looking forward to the report back from Republic and the management team, and hoping we see a better level of service and some plans that are fair to the city and our residents that pay for that service. Other item I want to mention this evening is a congratulations to all of the class of 2024. Successful graduation yesterday, and wish you all the best. And just remember, Kearney's always home. So after school, come back and see us. So we'll move on to the city administrator's report.
The next regular board meeting will be on Monday, June 3rd, right here at 6:30 PM. And after school is out, so after Memorial Day, because the last day of school is Friday, there is going to be some work done between the interchange and Watson Drive on 19th Street. There is a water weeping issue, and MoDOT and the contractor that did the interchange have a plan It's expected to be closed for 3 days, not completely. It will be, a lane will be taken away. And
I
then,
understand they were gonna stop traffic altogether, no?
I don't believe so. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
believe so after the email I saw Shelley share with Dr. Miller. And
Okay, because I thought they were shutting the
Nolan.
whole thing down. Okay.
Yep. They're not going to, but that issue should be taken care of, and it'll make it much safer to travel in the winter when it's icing out.
I assume we've communicated that with the fire department as well.
I did see an email to the school. I did not see one to the fire department, so I'll follow up with Shelley.
Okay, thank you. Alderman discussion, Alderman King? Alderman Holt?
Nope, not really.
Alderman Lehman?
Just, I'm disappointed with our discussion with Republic. We've got to do something because the service is totally unacceptable. So, but other than that, I'm good.
Alderman Barger?
I'll just add my congratulations to all the grads, high school and college, and wish them the best of luck.
Great. We do have an executive session notice this evening, a closed session per RSMO 610021 subsection 3, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. In 610021 subsection 13, individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment. Just a reminder, our meeting will be adjourned from there. So this does conclude our open session this evening. If we can consider a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pull the board?
Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Alderwoman Barker.
Aye.
Votes unanimous. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you.